Hi there, students. Standard or criterion? The first thing I want to focus on is criterion is the singular and criteria is the plural, and you shouldn't use criteria as a single noun. Okay, they're both countable. Okay, a standard is a level of quality within a range, a grade of something, how good it is. A criterion, on the other hand, are the standards that you use to judge something. Okay, the standards that you use to make a decision. So each thing has different standards in different areas, and you use criteria to choose, different criteria to choose. So one of the elements of, or one of the standards of something may be very high, but maybe this is not one of your criteria. So this is not something you're interested about. But notice, in many cases, standard and criterion are the same. He has very high standards. He has very high criteria. Okay, he wants things to be of good quality, and that's how he decides. Let's see, imagine you want to buy a car. What are the criteria that you would use? Well, probably the first thing is the price. Can I afford it or not? Can I pay for it? I'm not sure the price is a standard. It's a criteria. It's something you use to decide whether you're going to buy this car or that car. You might think about the safety standards. So you may want a very safe car, or you may not worry so much about it. So clearly the safety record is a good criteria, the standard of safety of that car. Maybe you want a car that uses very little fuel. So this is a standard, or you would have different standards. Maybe a car that uses 1 litre of petrol for 25 kilometers. This is a very good standard. Yeah, and that may fit your criteria, the standards that you use to make a decision. Okay, let's see. The quality of this is to a very high standard. Notice here, criteria doesn't really fit. Yeah, it's a high standard product, but that's not a criteria. Standards are on a scale, and you use criteria to establish the scale. So this is important, this is important, this is not important. Okay, so your criterion or your criteria are a way of evaluation. The standard is the result of your evaluation on a scale. Okay, notice standard has lots of other meanings as well. So we've been looking at standard meaning conforming to an accepted value or measurement within a certain area on a scale with a maximum and a minimum. But Standard we can also use to mean normal, acceptable quality. So the meal we had was very standard. It wasn't top quality, but it was certainly okay, it was acceptable. You could also use standard to mean familiar or usual. So it was a standard day at the office, a normal day, nothing out of the normal happened. The boat had the standard equipment. It might have been very good quality, but it was the standard equipment. All the things that you normally find. Notice as well, a standard can be a flag or a banner, particularly in a military context. So the cavalry rallied round their standard. They had a standard bearer, the person who carries the flag carrier. Okay, so a standard is a pole with your flag on it, and that's your standard. You can also use this word standard in a similar way. For example, a standard lamp. This is a lamp which is a pole and it has a base. Standard here means standing. Okay, so it's a standing lamp, a standard lamp. And it's something they use in furniture. Okay, what about origin? Well, criterion comes from ancient Greek. Kritas, judge, a judge. So criteria, the things that you use to judge something by. And I think this standard comes from to stand, standing. But maybe somebody could add a bit more about the origin of standard. What about formality? Okay, standard is a neutral word. You can use it in an informal conversation. You could use it in a formal conversation. You could use it anywhere, nice and flexible. Criterion sounds a little bit formal. It's certainly very good in a formal context. In an informal context, the reasons for your decision, the reasoning, something like that. I guess you could use criterion in an informal conversation, but the standards you use to choose, the basis of your decision. Use another phrase, okay? So, a standard. Standards. A scale, is it bad, okay, good? These are different standards. And you use different criteria to establish if it's bad, if it's medium, or if it's good. So the criterion is the basis of your decision. So there you go, standards and criteria. Remember, criterion singular, criteria plural. Enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Standard, criterion, criteria.